Well, hi friends, it's a beautiful day here in Grove City on Wednesday, April 20th. A little bit different than it was this past Easter Sunday morning outside, but nonetheless, I wanted to show you some pictures from our Easter services. It was wonderful to be able to meet with so many of you, to come together online and in person. And in our sanctuary, it was beautifully adorned with Easter flowers and people dressed up in some Easter finery. And then outside, it was beautifully adorned with snowflakes and temperatures in the low 30s. But nonetheless, a lot of people still came out and we had a good time there. And by the way, wanted to let you know too that for those of you who really enjoyed these outdoor worshiping in the great outdoors like that, we're going to have experiences to worship outside at the second service on starting Memorial Day weekend, and then also in the last Sundays of June, July, and August. But back to Easter. You know, Easter Sunday is, of course, this like the Super Bowl of the Christian faith, but nonetheless, the early Christians very early on decided that they would change the day that they gathered together for worship from Saturday, which was the Jewish Sabbath, to Sunday. And the reason why they did that was because of Easter, because they wanted to remind themselves every time they gathered that it was because Jesus had risen from the dead. And why is it a good thing for us to remind ourselves of this all the time when we come together for worship? Well, I think the Apostle Paul puts it very, very well in some of the lines actually that we had on the front cover of the handout that we gave out for the outdoor services. Where it says, first of all, in 1 Corinthians 15, I think it's verse 17, he says, if Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile. In other words, nothing else that Jesus said or did really matters. Not his great stories like the Good Samaritan and the prodigal son, not his blessing the little children, and even his dying on the cross, if he's not raised, is really just a senseless, horrible tragedy. But then Paul goes on to say a couple verses later, but Christ has indeed been raised from the dead. And that means that everything else that Jesus said and did and stood for really matters. And I'll tell you, friends, if you really dig into that, what he did say and do and what he stood for, I think you realize that's a really encouraging thing for us and for the world. Well, thanks for your time today, friends, and hope to see you this coming Sunday as we once again celebrate our risen Savior.